Welcome to Tamara Lynette Tales. I'm Tamara, and I spill the tea on your favorite reality stars. Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 13. This episode starts 13 days before Decision Day, so this was only like their fourth or fifth opportunity to meet with an expert, and it was their last before the Decision Day couch. And after all of the hype leading up to this season, Devin Franklin finally made his appearance. Let's get into these highlights. Krysten and Son of a Mitch met with Dr. Pepper. So Krysten had this big buildup about one of her concerns regarding Son of a Mitch and his environmentalism. Something I've been concerned about that I'm afraid is a problem with you that I would like to start with today is, are my iced lattes a problem for you? I thought she was going to mention like his attitude or sharp tongue, not her morning mint mocha chocolate iced latte. So Krysten brought up their unresolved argument about her wanting to flip houses. They repeated their sides of the argument, and in the end, Son of a Mitch agreed not to put the weight of the societal issue on her. Yeah, for now. We'll see if he remembers this conversation a few years from now when he's surrounded by his environmentalist friends. So he said there's like a dark side to everything we do. Pretty much everything affects their environment and leaves a carbon footprint. Can you handle me pointing those things out? So Dr. Pepper was acting like a translator for some reason and repeated what Son of a Mitch said to Krysten as if she didn't understand English. He's saying that everything we do has an effect on the environment. So the question on the table is, if he points these things out to you, can you support that? And Krysten said, I don't know. So Son of a Mitch said that maybe she would prefer someone who doesn't think about these things because there's plenty of men out there that don't. And Dr. Pepper said, well, he hasn't showed up yet. True, but that's not an excuse to settle, Dr. Pepper. So Son of a Mitch asked Krysten about her feelings on Decision Day. We haven't said I love you, and we've put the brakes on sex. Do you still have the same standard that you did during our honeymoon? Because I feel like if our journey isn't over and there's still progress to be made and we're both still committed, then why not continue? So she said her standard was based on him telling her he wasn't attracted to her. So now she looks at it differently and they're on the same page. In the end, Son of a Mitch said that he's open to falling in love with her and working towards that. And Krysten said she felt really good after this conversation. Like she's happy with his responses to her concerns, and she's going to spend the rest of her experiment going all in and letting down her walls. Krysten, don't let those walls down so easily. You take this man by his word and ignore his antics. This dude, he should be doing backflips about finding a smart woman who will put up with his shenanigans like you do. But instead, he's nitpicking every straw, bag, and product you use. So later, Son of a Mitch met with Krysten's sister, who asked him about his attraction to Krysten. And he said, well, unconsciously, I was expecting a hippie type of girl to walk down the aisle, but once I got over that, I accepted her for who she is. Whatever, Son of a Mitch. When Krysten's mom came sashaying down the aisle in her lace hot pink club dress, your face lit up like a kid looking at his first bicycle under the Christmas tree. You were so excited that little sex pot was gonna be yours. Wasn't nothing hippie about her mama. You're just not attracted to Krysten. It's okay, but just stop torturing the poor woman. So he said he's more attracted to Krysten when she doesn't have makeup on and is wearing her natural hair. And he's wondering if she would consider not putting on as much makeup. So here's the thing. This is a compliment coming from anyone else but Son of a Mitch. If he claimed to be attracted to her from day one, not so nitpicky about everything she does from an environmentalist standpoint, and regularly said nice things to her about her appearance, then I could easily see this as a compliment, without a doubt. But since he's more vocal about things he doesn't like, has practically been a bully in this relationship, and is bad in bed, this is just another put down. Miguel and Lindy met with Pastor Cal. Now, first thing he said to Lindy, you look glowing. It's not because you're pregnant. What kind of question is that, Pastor Cal? You making fun of Miguel hitting it on day 3 or something? I don't get it. So Pastor Cal asked Lindy if Miguel has seen the worst side of her, rather than asking Lindy if she's worked on her worst side so Miguel never has to see it. And why would you pair a man who has a mother that's schizophrenic with a woman who struggles with regulating her emotions anyway? So from 1 to 10, Lindy said Miguel has seen her at a 4.5, which frightened Miguel. But Lindy said she's only been at a 10 about 2 times in her life. So Pastor Cal points out to Miguel that since she's only been at a 10 twice in life, like 4.5 is her norm. So he asks, can you live with that norm? Then they cut to a commercial and we never got to hear the answer. But I didn't hear her say that 4.5 is her norm. She said that he's only seen her at a 4.5. How do we know 8 is not her norm? In any case, this couple does have the potential to succeed if Lindy heals from like her childhood and fast, because Miguel isn't the one to be dealing with her temper tantrums. But I don't understand why she thinks anyone should have to live with her outbursts. Like, save those for your conversations with son of a Mitch. Alexis and Weeping Willow met with Devin Franklin, and they talked about Alexis going to the club. And he asked her about the feeling she gets from going. And she said, I have a tough job, and going to the club gives me the freedom to let my hair down. So Weeping Willow admitted that he's afraid of losing her if she goes to the club. So Devin said Weeping Willow is trying to control who she talks to, when, how, and like where. So today it's the club, tomorrow it's the gym, and the next day it's church. I hear what you're saying, Devon, but the gym and church are not in the same category as a club. Yeah, folks do hook up at the gym and maybe at church, but a club is where a beautiful woman out with her girls will most likely have men buying her drinks that want to talk to her, have her back that thing up on them on the dance floor, and get her phone number, and then never call. Wait a minute, what was my point? Anyway, regarding sex, Alexis said she wants to be dominated. Weeping Willow said he can be dominating, but only if that energy is reciprocated, otherwise he gets turned off. So what does that mean? Like, are you walking up behind her and like grabbing her by her hair to pull her close and talking nasty in her ear? Because any sister with extensions is not going to match that energy, because they're going to be mad at you pulling out their weave. Boy, you ought to know better. So to the confessional cam, Alexis said she feels it's important to consummate the marriage before decision day. Feels it will like strengthen their bond. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. I thought she was trying to avoid having sex with him, like, period. But maybe she does want him to hit it. This couple is so confusing because they don't appear to be a good match. And one moment they're bickering, then the next moment they make up and are all booed up and trying to figure out their best sexual position. But at the end of the day, I believe he would pick her if she picked him, but not the other way around. Stacia Nate met with Pastor Cal, and he says that he's kept up to date with everything, and their exercises have been quite interesting and a little embarrassing to him. So he was talking about the sex toys, and Nate said, "What, you ain't a freak?" Ha! Come on, Pastor Cal. You're not supposed to be judging these folks. That's my job. Then he asked them about love, if they've exchanged some concrete words of commitment. And Stacia says she feels like she loves him, and she's told him that. So Nate said he hasn't reciprocated that "I love you," but he has told her that he admires her. How you sound? I love you. I admire you. Nobody wants to hear that. I think it's just better to say thank you or something. So Pastor Cal asked if he's ever felt like saying it, then stopped himself. And he said a few times, like, yes. So he said he's waiting for the right moment and is afraid of falling in love and getting hurt. So why are you here? Marriage is all about love and living through the hurt. And by not saying "I love you" out loud doesn't stop you from loving her and not getting hurt. So Pastor Cal was trying to figure out like why he felt that way and asked if he's ever been cheated on. And he said, "Not that I know of." Pastor Cal says to Stacia, "You never cheated before, right?" "No, I have. It was like 10 years ago, so I'm not that person anymore." And Nate said that he's disappointed. He says he sees her as a great woman, but that's not a great thing. So Pastor Cal's like, "You're going to judge her by something that happened such a long time ago, like 10 years? I hear you, Pastor Cal, but she's 37 years old, so that means she was 27 when she cheated. So not some high school or college kid. She was a grown woman. But of course she can change by leaps and bounds in 10 years, but you're acting like she was like some little silly teenager or something." So this show makes these couples find problems to talk about. I think Nate not saying "I love you" is their manufactured problem. And I believe at the end of the day, Stacia knows that Nate either loves her or is falling in love with her, because I can see it on her face and her demeanor when they talk about this on After Party. I just don't believe this is as big of a deal as they're making it out to be. But then of course I could be completely wrong. Dr. Pepper asked Caddy, do you think being in a relationship brings out the best in you? In other words, relationships are not for you, boo-boo. Caddy says, it brings out a softer side of me with the right person I can trust, but I don't show that to everyone. You sure don't. So Dr. Pepper starts to ask Ben a question and refers to how bad his behavior was regarding the nurse situation. But before he can answer, they cut to Caddy in the confessional cam. Hold on, I want to prove a point. So she pulls out her cell phone, and I thought she was going to read some text messages or something between Ben and Weeping Willow. No, she shows us her nursing certification, proving that she's a real nurse, and says, camera, please zoom in. That's my license. That's public information. I don't have to log into anywhere. That's Googleable. This is a Googleable license. Girl, nobody is questioning you and your Googleable license anymore. That was like so 6 weeks ago. Like, move on already. So she tells Dr. Pepper about not getting a real apology, the remorseful apology, and she feels like his apologies have been prompted, and she hasn't gotten a one-on-one emotional private apology. Girl, this man apologized to you in front of millions of people on national TV. 99.999% of people will never get that type of apology in their lifetime. That counts for a lot. So Ben says that he grew up in a home that didn't show emotions, so this experience has taught him that he runs away from his emotions. He may feel he runs away from his emotions, but I have felt his feelings of defeat, frustration, and regret that she's his wife through my TV screen more than once. So Dr. Pepper asked if she had any good times during this marriage, and she said, yeah, there was a time when we had a really great friendship, but it can't be fixed because he lost my trust. When was this great friendship? Like day 1 or 2 of the marriage when y'all didn't know each other? So Dr. Pepper says, to me, this sounds like your decision day. So both Caddy and Ben agreed that they wanted a divorce. So Caddy says she wants one because she feels it was never meant to be. And Ben said that he wants one because he's not ready to be married. So fortunately for Ben, he will grow from being on this show and will most likely be a better person in the long run. But Miss Caddy, I don't get the impression that she thinks she has anything to work on. As she said in one of the episodes when Ben made her food, I'm all healed up. Girl, with all the walls you got in your arsenal, you are not healed. You just lock people out. So all of the couples met up for a pool party, which I believe was at their apartment complex. So to the confessional cam, Krysten explains that her sister told her about son of a Mitch asking how he can get Krysten to wear less makeup and be more natural. Krysten was pissed, but we've seen her pissed before about things he said. Then he'll string together 2 coherent sentences and then all is forgiven. So later they all gathered around to talk about their expert visits, and Caddy proudly announced that they had their decision day and tonight is their last night. And Alexis' facial expression was hilarious. It was like, whoops, did I have anything to do with that? So to the confessional cam, Ben said that today is my last day here and maybe even in San Diego for me. Dang, you gonna let that girl run you out of town, Ben? So son of a Mitch explained that they met with Dr. Pepper. I feel like she gets us and some of the sticking points we've had. So Alexis says, I'm just really glad that you got past her wearing makeup and everything, because I remember in the beginning where it was just like a sticking point for you. I feel like this was Alexis being a little messy. The ladies were most likely talking about this earlier by the pool, and Alexis appears to be trying to start something by carrying on about the makeup issue. Because of all the problems they have, why would she coincidentally bring this specific one up like 2 hours after Krysten's sister told her about that conversation? But surprisingly, son of a Mitch played coy. He responded, did I say those things in the beginning? Both Weeping Willow and Miguel chimed in and said, yes, we heard you say that you took issue with her dressing up and wearing makeup. I never said that. And Krysten said, you never wanted me to be more earthy? Oh yeah, I do feel that way. I just didn't realize it had gotten around. I don't want to come across as some type of a controlling husband. Too late for that. So Caddy chimes in to stir up the pot. How do you feel about her now? He said, I don't know yet. So Krysten said that she's got to think about what type of wife she can be to son of a Mitch, but more importantly, if she could be with someone who was unsure about her after 8 weeks. I feel like both Alexis and Caddy were trying to instigate a fight between Krysten and son of a Mitch by asking these questions, rather than allow Krysten to handle the situation her way and on her timing. Misery really does love company. Then the experts popped out by surprise. I guess this is going to be their thing now, like watching secretly after their final visits with the couple like they did last season. But why can't they pop up like this throughout the season while a couple is struggling rather than waiting 10 minutes before decision day? So Dr. Pepper asked Krysten and son of a Mitch if something happened. Again, I feel like this is an attempt to force Krysten to hash this out with son of a Mitch during this gathering. Like, Krysten told the producers during her confessional what her sister said. Dr. Pepper and the gang know exactly what happened. So Krysten said, based off of what you told my sister, I'm wondering if you are over your initial feelings of not being attracted to me. And Dr. Pepper said, after our meeting, I got the impression that you were very attracted to her. Like, what did you say that was different? Son of a Mitch was looking like a deer caught in the headlights. Like, really, son of a Mitch, you didn't think her sister would tell her what you said? So he said he basically told her sister that he's more attracted to her without makeup. And Dr. Pepper said, well, that's actually a compliment. Are you very attracted to her? And he's like, I'm attracted to her. Well, she's gonna receive that the same way I am. Like, not good. Son of a Mitch was like, you're putting me on the spot in front of everybody. It's like, this is a way to do this? So basically, Dr. Pepper just added more kerosene to the flame, but between the three experts, no one seemed to know how to put the fire out. So rather than acknowledge that she deserves someone who undoubtedly finds her attractive and accepts her for the person she is right now, Dr. Pepper said, I think you two can work through this, and he has enough attraction for you. And Krysten interrupted. She was like, I'm gonna stop you, Dr. Pepper. I respect you and your little experiment, but I'm not gonna settle for enough. And I'm tired of someone who needs professional help to get there. I want someone who is excited to see me when I walk into the room. I want someone who thinks I'm beautiful with a little bit of makeup on, and I'm done. I'm done. Yes, Krysten, yes! This was like the part of the movie where the kid who has been bullied finally works up the courage to sock the bully in the face and does it in front of everyone. But I predicted early on in my videos that she would eventually resent son of a Mitch, and here it is. So Dr. Pepper said, I'm sorry. I don't need an apology from you. I need one from him. I don't even know. I mean, it's like, this is all so blindsiding to me. And Krysten's like, oh my God, is this blindsiding to anybody? Then they cut to the peanut gallery of Weeping Willow and Alexis, the couple who only seems to get along when they were capping on one of the other participants. They said that son of a Mitch doesn't know what he wants. Weeping Willow said he sounds like he needs a hippie from Boulder, Colorado. And in unison, they both said he needs a woman with dirty feet. Now that is hilarious. But at the same time, I can totally picture the type of women they're talking about. So Dr. Pepper's like, okay, well, I'm going to bounce out of this conversation. Now that I've made a mess of things, I'll leave you to talk amongst yourselves. Okay, she didn't say that, but she did say that she thought they can have a conversation later and work this out. But how do you work out son of a Mitch not being attracted to her in a conversation, Dr. Pepper? Like, this is an ongoing theme all season. So to the confessional cam, son of a Mitch said, I've not been trying to force my will on Krysten, not trying to change her. I've been trying to accept her for who she is. Talk about someone who's not self-aware. You just said you want to figure out how to convince her to not look the way she does when she leaves the house. You've been on her to change the way she thinks about the environment and even gave her a hard time about her house flipping dream. That's not acceptance. That's you trying to Mitchify her. An extreme environmentalist never should have landed on this show. This show is for people who are open-minded, not for the person who wants a man who is 6'1¼ has red hair, collects 1976 Chevy Malibus, and works for Amazon part-time while he's in college finishing up his theme park technology degree. Son of a Mitch never should have applied to find a wife this way. He needs to find his wife at his next anti-polyester protest or stomp out Kool-Aid rally. In the meantime, stay tuned for my after party recap about this episode. Bye!